Welcome to this explainer. You know that absolutely spectacular visual that's probably flashed across your feed at some point? A sky literally exploding with flying gold? Well, today we're unpacking exactly what that is. We're going to dive into the deep, ancient mythology that actually fuels this incredible modern-day celebration. We're talking creation, unchecked ego, a massive cosmic battle, and honestly, a pretty profound lesson in forgiveness. So let's just get right into it.
Section 1. The Flying Yellow Gold. Now, if you've seen the footage of this festival, it is mesmerizing. It looks like literal wealth raining down from the heavens. But the reality is actually way more interesting. That gold flying through the air, it's not gold at all. It's turmeric. Just imagine standing right in the middle of that. The air is just thick with this vibrant, bright yellow powder, and the crowds are going wild. But here's the kicker. They aren't cheering for a good harvest or ringing in a new year. According to the text we're looking at today, those cheers are actually echoing a victory cry from a massive ancient war. So, that brings us to the big question for this explainer. What is this celebration really about? How on earth does a giant cloud of turmeric in the 21st century connect to an ancient battlefield? And maybe more importantly, who was fighting? Well, to wrap our heads around the sheer scale and joy of what's happening today, we actually need to rewind the clock. Literally all the way back to the dawn of the universe.
Section 2. The Demon's Growing Ego.
Okay, let's look at the cosmic timeline that kicked off all this chaos. First up, we've got the very beginning. Lord Brahma is building the world, and it takes immense, difficult labor. But then we hit this second phase, the era of boons. Basically, these two demon brothers, Malla and Mani, receive these incredibly powerful divine blessings, boons. Now think about it. What happens when you hand absolute, immense power to beings who haven't mastered their own minds? Right, their egos just inflate to a massive scale. It goes completely to their heads. And that rockets us right into the third point on our timeline, the era of chaos. Totally fueled by the arrogance of their new power, these two start wreaking absolute havoc. And not just on Earth, they're bringing chaos to the heavens too.
Down on Earth, this unchecked ego got ugly fast. They weren't just conquering territory, they were actively going out of their way to disrupt the peace. They made a habit of disturbing the deep penance of the sages. They tormented innocent people who literally had zero means to defend themselves. And the source material points out that these atrocities didn't just simmer, they reached their absolute peak. It got as bad as it could possibly get. The innocent were backed into a corner. And honestly, when the darkness is that overwhelming, what's left to do? You cry out for divine intervention.
Section 3. Lord Shiva's warrior avatar.
This marks the major turning point. Hearing these desperate pleas, Lord Shiva himself decides to step in. But, and this is crucial, he doesn't just, hurl lightning bolts from the sky. He takes on a physical warrior avatar. He steps right onto the battlefield. And where does he appear? Right on the hill of Jejuri. Yep, the exact same geographical spot where the Turmeric festival explodes today. He stands his ground on that hill and directly challenges the demon brothers to a fight.
Section 4. War, Death, and Repentance.
So, we've reached the climax of this world-shaking battle, and what's super fascinating here is the sheer dichotomy between the two brothers when they are finally face-to-face with ultimate divine power. On one hand, you have Malla. He was just entirely consumed by his own arrogance. He fought with that inflated ego right up to the bitter end, until Lord Shiva finally struck him down with his sword. But then, there's Mani. Mani watches his brother die this brutal death, and he experiences this sudden, massive psychological shift. In that terrifying split second, his massive ego just completely shatters. Instead of fighting blindly until he's destroyed too, he actually pauses. He makes a completely different choice.
In what has to be one of the most incredible pivots in mythology, Mani surrenders. He chose repentance over war. Just take a second and let that sink in. A demon, a being who had spent his entire existence tormenting the innocent, just drops his arrogance right on the battlefield and asks for forgiveness. It is a wildly powerful shift from outward destruction to total inward realization.
Section 5. Symbol of Forgiveness and Victory.
Okay, so how does this ancient myth actually play out for the millions who participate today? Well, first, devotees travel to the temple that's built right there on that historic hill in Jejuri, Maharashtra. But before they even worship the divine, they stop at the temple stairs. Right there, there's a stone symbolizing the demon Mani, and the devotees bow to him first. They literally honor the repentant demon before moving forward. Only after that,
Every year, during November and December, do they celebrate Lord Shiva's victory by filling the air with that golden turmeric we talked about at the start. It is this beautiful physical reenactment of pure joy.
So I want to leave you with a final thought to chew on. Next time you see those incredible images of golden turmeric just flying through the sky, remember what's actually being celebrated. Because it's not just the defeat of some ancient monster. As that ritual of bowing to Mani shows us, the true victory wrapped up in that flying turmeric is the triumph of forgiveness over ego. It leaves us with a really profound question. Does true victory lie in destroying your enemy? Or is the greatest win helping them destroy their own ego so that you can actually forgive them? It's a remarkable lesson hidden inside a stunning visual. I really hope this explainer has given you a whole new appreciation for the golden victory of Jejuri.